The only thing about that pizza, peppers make me burpy.
Peppers make me burpy.
And there were peppers on that pizza.
Can that go on the podcast?
Peppers make me burpy?
Yeah.
Sure.
This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
It's Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast on a throwback Thursday today for Burger Revolution, the incredible career of Tina Turner. Mm-hmm. In the spotlight, what's love got to do with it? Routed, Better Be Good to Me. Although, was it Sandy? That one listener.
Sally.
Sally, so sad.
She really wanted you to win this morning.
Better be good to me.
Sorry, Sally. But with it being almost 40 years old, which is always, you put a number on things and it just, I was like, oh my gosh. But it did intrigue me and interest me. Well, what else was 40 years old? So we did a little montage of songs, what the radio would have sounded like back in 1982.
82.
Wow.
And
not just Tina Turner with staying power, because we highlighted a few of the songs. One being Journey. Journey's still a huge
Don't Stop
song.
Believing. It's bigger now than it was then. I don't think it cracked the top 10.
Well, it must have, because it was in the Billboard's 100. So it must have cracked the top 10.
No, but I think back then, I think it peaked at number 13. But today, you would say, oh, it's one of the biggest songs of 82. I don't think when it came out, it was with the huge fanfare that we give it today. It's one of those rare songs that's bigger today than it when
I won't tell you how old I was in 82, so I don't know.
You were...
But Olivia Newton-John's Physical.
Yep.
Chicago was on that list. We played
Air
a little
Supply.
Asia, Air Supply, Jackson
Willie
Brown.
Nelson.
Willie Nelson, always on my mind.
And I had a discussion with a buddy of mine who I went to radio college with way back when everything was on 45s. And he said, yeah, like radio like that doesn't exist. You can't do it. And I contend you can. And I'm wrong.
What,
I know
now?
that. Yeah. That there is room in the musical spectrum for people to enjoy what from today and something else from today that isn't like it. Like we're so...
Two different genres, you mean?
Yeah, we're so hyper-focused.
Look at the crossovers that we have now.
Yeah.
I just listened to a song the other day from Thomas Rhett, who is a country singer with Katy Perry. Mm-hmm. And it easily could be heard on either formats and it not stand out at all.
I think what I'm talking about is back on the radio, you could have had AC/DC, You Shook Me All Night Long, into September Morn by Neil Diamond. That would have played together on the radio.
Yes.
They're like, well, now you can't. It's like,
and then it differentiates.
Maybe because pop music was new back then. We quote unquote didn't know better that we shouldn't do that. But I enjoyed it.
More blurry now, perhaps even. You're right, Mark. I agree with you that it did become very segmented. You had certain kinds of music. It broke away from playing everything. I'm not saying we're going back to that, but I do think those lines are blurry again. I do, because you hear a little bit of both. I think it would be fine now.
I think radio takes a look at, streaming services and the top songs and go, well, everybody is listening to all of these. Why are we only playing some of them? Not that you have to have, everybody's charts the same. I just think that most people aren't. There are some people that only listen to country, that only listen to rock,
certainly,
that only listen to my music. That's some. But there are
the rock yacht.
We are
yacht
called
rock.
Broadcasters, not narrowcasters.
Well, and they tell you, I remember in school, just because you like one type of music doesn't mean that you can't work with or listen to other types of music.
You better,
because if you stick to one type, you're not going to do very well.
Yeah.
And I'd say that kind of goes for everybody. You should have an open mind, and you can like other kinds of music.
But Tina Turner, wow,
amazing.
That was great. That was
Love
great.
It. Yes, so thank you for your votes today.
Belleville Senators fell in overtime last night, surrendered a 3-2 first period lead and lost 4-3, of course, to the Rochester Americans. Manager of Broadcast and Communications, David Foote, joined us this morning to talk about that moving forward and how purchasing a ticket for Springfield this weekend gets you a freebie in November.
What time did you get in last night, David? Or this morning?
I walked in the house just after 3 a.m.
Yeah,
3 a.m. You must have just been cringing when they went to overtime.
Every single time. And it never fails in Rochester, too. Like, for whatever reason, they play really tough at home. And, 4-3, they beat us 4-3 in both of the two playoff games as well, 4-3 in overtime. So I have a little bit of PTSD now from going in there and losing 4-3 in overtime.
Almost should have guessed that was going to happen. We think
Why? I don't know. I was thinking it was going to go the other way.
Yeah.
After last weekend. That was a great weekend.
Yeah, excellent way to start the season for sure.
Absolutely.
Good to see almost 3,000 fans at the CAA Arena. That's as good as what you saw on the scoreboard.
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, and the guys really appreciated that support as well. There was a lot of chatter about it on the road trip this week that the guys were really happy with the fan support, and hopefully this weekend, only 2 more home games left in the month, which is wild to think, but hopefully this weekend with the Springfield Thunderbirds in town, we can do the same thing, and that crowd made it different, and it always does. But I mean, the crowd in Rochester the other night, not the biggest crowd for them. They have about an 8,000-seat building, and I think there was only 1,500, 2,000 people there. But they are belligerent, the fans in Rochester.
Oh.
And they're in the game, and they're booing everything the other team does. And I really give them a lot of credit for the American success at home. So.
Yeah. Springfield in town. We won't see them a lot. Is this going to be it for the year for this home and home, the AHL affiliate of the St. Louis Blues?
Yeah, this is it. And they are the reigning, defending Eastern Conference champions in the American Hockey League. This is a good team. They've had a lot of turnover, but they are a good team, and it'll be a good test for Belleville to really kind of see how they stack up against some of the top teams in the league. Springfield actually knocked Laval out of the playoffs last year, so for Belleville to come into Laval and then have Laval at home and beat them twice, I think is a big step. And then Rochester was the other playoff team kind of in that mix in the Eastern Conference, and took them to overtime in their building the other night. So it'll be a tough test, but if you're a Blues fan or if you know a Blues fan, this is the time to kind of see their prospects. And if you're not a Blues fan, perfect. Come to the game anyway.
Yeah.
And watch the Beats and try to pick at least another point, because they've got points in 3 straight games to start the season.
Now, you mentioned these were the last 2 home games of the month. Through the month of October, you've been running this promo. If you buy one regular price ticket to any of the October games, you'll receive a free ticket to a November game. So that's still the case heading into this weekend.
Yeah, it is, and I think we play like 8 or 9 home games in November. It's going to be a home-heavy month. The only caveat to that is that the 2 games that the Toronto Marlies visit for are not included in the BOGO deal, and it's fairly simple reason, because everybody wants to come.
Because it's the Marlies.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and we've had some people say, well, that's not really fair, but those tickets are going to be tough to come by, or can be anyway. So it kind of makes sense. But there's lots of other good teams coming into town.
Well, yeah, I was just looking.
Of November.
Rochester's going to be here, so you were saying how their fans are
Final
there.
score 4-3 in overtime.
How about we get it loaded up here and get some of our fans when Rochester comes in November?
Oh, yeah. That would be ideal, right?
Yeah.
We've got Rochester in. Toronto comes twice. Again, those games don't count in the BOGO deal, but the Cleveland Monsters are coming in. They're the affiliate of the Columbus Blue Jackets, Syracuse Crunch, who are a rival team for us, just a couple hours down the road across the border. Tampa Bay's affiliate. Laval comes twice on November 25th and 26th. And the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, who are the affiliate of the Philadelphia Flyers, come for their only visit as well in November. So it's going to be a busy month at CAA Arena for the players and for our team in the Sens front office, and hopefully for our fans as well. Again, a really good opportunity to get to a couple games, and that BOGO deal is about as good as it gets right now for us.
David Foote, manager of broadcast and communication. Once again, the streaming now available. You're back behind the mic handling that. How'd you feel after 3 games?
The pipes are a little sore. I'm still trying to work my way back into mid-season form. Lots of fisherman's friends. Tea and honey. You guys know the drill when it comes to that. But it's been good, and the response to the network has been outstanding. We got a mention in the hockey news last week alongside the Edmonton Oilers, who have launched their own kind of digital streaming service as well. So a lot of good feedback so far, and we're looking forward to building that out as things go on, and just giving people another way to follow the team if they don't have the AHL TV subscription or they can't make it to the game.
Again, they just go to the website, BellevilleSens.com.
Yes, and it will be on our app eventually. We're working with our app developer to get a quick link on the app. And the other nice thing is that from what we've heard early on, there's been some, I'll call them complaints, but it's not really people complaining, that some folks would like to listen to the play-by-play when they're at the game, which is an old school thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the radio reception never used to be great in CAA Arena. And then if you used the online stream before, the delay was about 15 or 20 seconds. So it wasn't really watchable.
Yeah.
But from what we're hearing, the delay on the new network is only about 3 to 5 seconds. So if you're at the game and you want to try firing up the stream, then we'd encourage you to do that. Let us know what you think, because 3 to 5 seconds should be digestible enough that you can listen while you watch in the building, which would be a huge thing.
For a Sens goal, it takes me that long to stand up. It's not immediate with me either. David Foote, before we let you go, 2-0-1, best start that this team has had since they moved to Belleville. What was Troy talking about on the drive home last night?
Just the fact that he likes the consistency from his team early on. Again, it is very early in the season, so it's nice to have a 3-game point streak to start. But everybody realizes that it's only 3 games of 72. There's a lot of hockey left to play, so right now it's just about kind of working out those kinks that you've identified early in the season and trying to build and develop the team as best you can. And the more games that the team plays, the more they're going to be able to figure out how they stack up around the league and what changes might need to be made. But it certainly is an excellent start, and there's a lot of confidence, I would say, in that dressing room right now going into this weekend against Springfield at CAA Arena.
Okay, well, you get a chance to see it with the BOGO deal this weekend with Springfield, and then pick up a ticket for one of the 6 other games other than Toronto in November.
Thanks so much, David. Go get some rest.
Yeah,
absolutely. Thanks, guys. No problem.
Thank you, David. He's going to be a regular on the podcast and on the show.
Well, I hope so. I am really excited
Good
that
guy.
the Sens are back on the ice.
Yeah.
And David is. David has a broadcasting background, so it's kind of nice talking to David. He gets it.
Yep.
And he's fun to talk to, so yeah.
So we'll talk about
looking
the
forward
team.
to talking to him more.
But neither one of us are really sort of stat people.
See, you say that, and then you ask a question, as you did there near the end, about how they're starting on a 3-game, blah, blah, blah. I shut it off. But you talk about not knowing the stats. You certainly know the lingo and the language. So you say you don't know, you know.
I know it as a fan knows it. I don't know it as
No, I know it as a
insider.
fan. You know it more as a hockey insider. I go to the game and say, ooh, that was a good pass. I have no idea who it is, how many passes he's done, how many games they've won. I am just enjoying the moment and being there that day.
You so are underplaying your hand here.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. Okay.
I have my husband. My husband knows all the stats and everything. He can tell me, but... Yeah.
2 wins and an overtime loss to get a point. 3-point streak to kick off the season. Springfield is in town Friday and Saturday nights, as he mentioned. Buy a ticket for that game. You'll get a freebie in November for everything but Toronto.
BOGO.
And when people say, well, that's not fair. You know what? If the games aren't sold out already, they'll be pretty darn close.
As David said, those tickets go pretty quick. They're not, and they're not available. That's basically what it is. It's not because they don't want to sell them to you or give them to you. It's because they've already been purchased. So sorry,
you're not going to be able to get good seats. I mean, get them though. We want telling people not to buy tickets, but
and as I said, Rochester, you know what? If they're over there yelling at our players, you get in those seats and you yell at their players.
And Philadelphia's farm team's going to be here. Laval's going to be here.
Syracuse,
Cleveland is going to be here. So
what was the team that's only? Is that the Philadelphia? Is that the one? This is the only home game they have here with them.
I think I think we got some more because we've got a bit of a rivalry with them.
Okay, so that wasn't it.
That's going to be on. But Springfield, this is it.
This is it. This is the only time
Springfield.
They're going to be here.
So that's going to be great. Smart and Charity Coffee Podcast. Join us tomorrow. We'll give you an opportunity or two. Let me check the sheet. One opportunity tomorrow morning to play the high-low game. And we don't know what it'll be. So set the alarm for 5:55 because you don't want to miss it if we go early. I know we can't
give any hint. Like, it's not a hint, but it's so hard.
To what?
I can't. I am so afraid to say the wrong thing.
Yeah, because you'll be held to it.
I will be held to it. Yeah. But I'm excited at where the guesses are.
Sure. It's an impressive card.
It is an impressive card.
And they're, you're
and we
all
we did get our bracket today.
Yeah.
Like we do have it. If you've been paying attention and following along, you know that there's
But it's a significant amount of money in between.
Yes.
We're not down to
but it's not
dollars yet.
It's not like $1 to $600.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Closer than that. And it's higher than $600.
So please don't guess it right with Emily today. Just get your gift card and move on.
Let us have one.
Come on, let us play one more on Friday.
Yes.
Before we have that for you tomorrow morning, got your dad joke of the week before we kick off next week with Galaxy of Games, which will include horror movie themes.
Well, it's the week before Halloween.
That's right, because it's a week from Monday.
We have to.
And we talked about some Halloween candy today. I hope you caught the show for that. And
we've talked about candy. We've talked about costumes. We are going to poll them on their favorite candy yet, right?
Yeah,
we're going to do that next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
And tomorrow on the show, though, we're going to talk about this whole new idea of these inflatables. Halloween inflatables. See, why you're intrigued by that.
And that's it. Is it new? I don't think it is, but there seems to be an awful lot more this year. So yeah, it's like, okay, why?
Decorating for Halloween. That'll be coming up on the show tomorrow morning. Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast, wherever you get your favorites. Here we are daily. Get that up by 11 o'clock in the morning. All part of the morning show here at 95.5 Hits FM, about 15, 20 minutes. So it's easily digestible. Thank David for being on the podcast today. And you have yourself a great day.
Lehigh Valley Phantoms. That's who I was trying to think of.
Right.
It's one of the few games there in town. So don't miss that. That's coming up in November.
Don't miss out on that one. Get to BellevilleSens.com and get your tickets for Springfield this weekend and freebies in November. Have yourself a great day today.